Who wins, the Flash or Minato Namikaze? Now, that is a question I saw a couple of months ago on Twitter, and it was a very jarring question because I was expecting most of the people in the comments to say the Flash, because I mean, he's quicker, he's faster, he's done a lot more crazy shit with his powers than Minato has ever attempted to do. But apparently, there were a lot of people in the comments who basically just acted like they were just taking the absolute piss and saying that, oh yes, Minato will win because he has flying Raijin and he has a curse, he has a Kurama cloak mode and this at the third, and he could destroy mountaintops and stuff. So that basically made me laugh, and I was just like, in what world do you think Minato could beat the Flash? And we're not even talking about like the crazy version of the Flash, Wally West Flash. We're talking about just like basic Barry Allen Flash. He would still run the okay, so basically I want you to picture a scene with Minato and Flash fighting each other. And think of this scene as the one from, think of like the super from Injustice 2 with the Flash. Just think of that and replace wherever Flash is fighting in Injustice 2 with Minato's face. And that's exactly how the fight will go down. You wouldn't even have a second to breathe. It will be so fast, it's not even a competition. And the funny thing is that there will be some people, like, I'm pretty sure Screw Attack will probably make a video of this one day where they're like, oh yes, the Flash versus Minato. It's not a competition. It's kind of like, with Reverse Flash and Goku Black, that old thing. It was like, even if Goku Black does anything, Reverse Flash still wins because he has hacks beyond hacks. It just doesn't make sense for Goku Black to win. And the fact that this is Minato versus the Flash. And I think a lot of people need to understand that there's a lot more that goes on with DC, with not even DC, just comic book characters in general, that goes a lot more, like the writing and the people who write those characters kind of just make them broken for absolutely no reason, or just make them broken so they could justify making them broken for the current situation that they're in. And mangakas can't do that because they have a story to tell. They have to focus more on the story than they do on the character. In comics, you could get away with making the character broken because it's not the only run that you're making. There's going to be other artists and other writers who are making different runs, and that could be done. But with anime and manga, it just doesn't work that way unless you have like a spin-off for the manga or something like that, akin to that, like with My Hero Academia has with the My Hero Academia sidekicks stuff, which is getting an anime, so that's really dope. But unless you have something like that, or the same thing with Attack on Titan and the Fall of the Wall Attack on Titan, unless you have that, you're not really going to be able to do much in spreading continuity and making different plays. Like, it's not going to work out that well, especially with DC and Marvel just having different writers and different comic artists just completely making new different versions of the same characters, and just making even either crazy, insane, overpowered version of the characters, or just regular versions of the character were very like down to earth and not just like stupidly godly, insanely broken. Like for example, I'm gonna give you a great example. Hulk. We have Hulk, right? Already as a character, Hulk is a very strong character. Like, he is very strong. Even base Hulk could beat someone like Thor. That is very strong. That's a very strong feat to do, to be able to beat Thor. Now, let's compare that to the Heart of the Monster Hulk. That is a Hulk that completely would stomp. Just think about how insane Heart of the Monster Hulk is. He had to fight a version of She-Hulk that was his girlfriend. His girlfriend Betty Ross. Yeah, Betty Ross. And basically, she was Red She-Hulk, and she also had the Heart of the Monster, and they basically had to fight to a standstill just to calm each other down. And that's how powerful this man. There was no one else on Earth or in the cosmos that could have stopped them except for her. And that was literally the whole comic. Just imagine that. Now let's talk about another version of a character that is just insanely broken for no good reason. Century. We had pre-retcon Century defeating Molecule Man. Like, just think about that for a second. You have that, and you're trying to tell me you're going to compare an anime / manga character that only has one version of themselves. It's not like with Dragon Ball Z, where Dragon Ball Z has the superhero timeline, where not the superhero, but the Dragon Ball Heroes timeline, where you could have Zeno, Goku, and all that. Like, this is not that. This is just base regular Minato with all the stuff that he had all the way to the ending of the fourth Great Ninja War and him being reincarnated and all that. That's just that facing a version of the Flash. Just think about that. Just think about that for a second. That's like me saying I am putting a baby Rocket against not Rocket Raccoon the character, but just like a rocket. Just think of it like a baby Rocket against a fucking nuke. Like, are you insane? Are you trying to die? Like, that would be insane. I mean, obviously having a nuke and a rocket is not a good thing. It's not a smart thing to do because you definitely die. It's not a smart thing to have. But basically, it's just like, just think about it. How in the world are you going to justify Minato even facing the Flash? Any version of them, even Impulse will beat Minato. And that's just the funny part, because I think a lot of people like to have their biasness cover their eyes about the situation that Goku would beat any character. And I mean, this debate has been going on for a long time, but it's obviously not true. There are characters out there in anime, even not even comics. I'm not even talking about comics here, but characters in anime who would give Goku a run for his money or even whoop his ass without even breaking a sweat. I'm talking about characters like Sailor Moon, characters who could completely just change the entire verse if they wanted to by saying a single word. Now, I actually don't remember the name of that manga that I'm talking about, but you guys will know. I'll put the picture of the character I'm talking about on the screen, so just so you know what I'm talking about. Psyche K could beat Goku. We have so many other characters in anime who could beat Goku, and it's just the funny thing is that people like to, because he's their favorite character, or he's just a character that they grew up with, so the nostalgia wouldn't let them ever think that he will get defeated, even though that is not the truth. These characters can get beat. They can get beat, even if it's not like by conventional means. The writer could will that the character gets beat. I mean, shit, we saw Thanos get beat by Squirrel Girl. That itself is saying a lot. Thanos getting beaten by Squirrel Girl, and I understand she's a gag character, of course, you know, she's gonna have her things where she beats characters. I mean, there was a whole comic book where Deadpool beat Thanos with just, you know, normally just killing him and cutting his head off. Like, that was just crazy. But yeah, and I'm not even talking about Deadpool versus the the Marvel universe. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something completely different. It's a completely different run. So yeah, it's like a lot of people just don't understand that anime characters really aren't built like that at all. They're not. They're just very, very weak compared to most of you know, fiction. It's like, I could make an argument that the Cheshire Cat can beat Goku, bro, from Alice in the Wonderland. Like, you gotta understand. I could make a really good, a very, very well detailed reason why Cinderella can beat Naruto. Like, you gotta work with me here. You gotta understand that anime characters really ain't shit. But at the same time, I will give some props to some anime characters I do respect, like, you know, because I grew up with them and shit, and I really loved them growing up. And it's just that we need to, like, it needs to stop with the bigging up of anime characters when they're not really that strong. Anime character that I really have my gripes with a lot in this conversation is Itachi. It really is Itachi, because there's a lot of fans out there, a lot of Naruto fans out there who will say, "Oh, Itachi was killed off because he was gonna be a very big character, but Masashi Kishimoto had to kill him off because he was gonna become too strong. He had to make him sick." I'm like, no, he really wasn't. Like he really wasn't. Like yeah, he's strong in the series, all right, but he was definitely not gonna get to Madara's level. I'm sorry. I don't know who told you that. I don't know what in what world you learned that from, but he wasn't gonna be as strong as Madara. The way Madara was manhandling most of those ninjas in the fourth Great Ninja War, you would have thought this nigga was a fucking adult fighting preschoolers. That shit was not fair. Itachi could not have done that. Like Itachi, sure, he was holding out with Shisui against Jonins. And that was really dope against Anbu ninjas. Yeah, that was cool. But guess what? These are not Anbu ninjas. These are ninjas who've been fighting for majority of their lives. Ninjas who are experienced. They still got clapped by Madara like it was nothing. So again, it's just y'all need to stop. You Itachi people, y'all need to stop. I gotta stop putting this man on a pedestal that he doesn't deserve to be on, honestly. Because yes, I understand he's an amazing brother. He's an amazing character, well-written character as well. He has this old duality thing going on and how he feels guilty of killing his entire clan and the reason why he had to do it in the first place. And that's completely cool. But I feel like it's just a lot of you guys just go overboard sometimes. Like, yes, that Kabuto fight was dope as fuck in the manga and anime. It was really nice. And in the Storm series, it was really dope. But let's be honest, other than that, he really hasn't put any feat that shows that he's Madara level. And he had to have Sasuke's help in that fight too. So, again, I mean, you could argue and say that he didn't because he used Izanami on Kabuto and he would have been easily able to stop him. But again, that's not Madara tier. Kabuto is not Madara tier, especially Sage Mode Kabuto. He ain't Madara tier. He's not. Let's just stop that old bullshit. But yeah, that was it for the video today. I didn't really talk too much about Minato versus the Flash because, yes, you know Flash will wash him, and it's not even a question. Any version of the Flash will wash him. Even the Teen Titans Go version will wash him. Like, come on, look how goofy that nigga look. Look at this goofy Flash. He would wash him. But yeah, it's just something that I wanted to get off my mind, and I've just wanted to make a video on YouTube, and I didn't really know what else to make except for this topic because it's been on my mind for like the longest of times. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed that video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I doubt you would, but hit the like button. Also, just put some comments in the comments below, and check out the description for my social media and stuff and other artists that I really respect out here in the streets. Shout outs to DD Mark and Third PHP. But yeah, that's it. Have a good day, y'all. Goodbye, and don't let the boogeyman clap your cheeks at night. Good night.